Gentlemen, we've been a little bit delayed because Double Dimension still had to bring in Radix, but he's here now, and we even got a ticket this time around, so no weird names, apart from FNG, who still tagged up as Kirito. I asked him about it. He said, oh yeah, it's just my mood. Whether I'm FNG or Kirito, and right now he is this guy, Kirito. So I'll also call him FNG probably, so hopefully you're not too confused. Anyway, my name is Dragon Drop, happy to bring you the series Double Dimension vs Team Spirit in the PGL CIS qualifiers. This is an elimination series, knockout game if you will.
10 seconds
The winner of this will move on to face Vega
5 seconds
for the last slot in the next phase of these qualifiers, the single elimination bracket that follows this double elimination group stage. So you have to win at least 2 of these games right now, or else you can start focusing on other qualifiers, I suppose. And we have some interesting picks already. Lich and Venomancer. Here's what we see time and time again. Double Dimension, of course, they've run them as much as any other teams have in the EU and CS region in particular. But Night Stalker first pick for Team Spirit. So this is definitely a hero that really fits into their general playstyle. Right, gives them a lot of vision, a lot of aggressive potential even early on that they can use, then start snowballing into a really solid mid game. Well, vision is key. If you've ever played Dota on a higher level, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you know where everyone is, then you can plan your attack. Essentially, you can make sure that you take the right team fights, and that's a pretty useful and successful road to victory. Alright, I'm just looking at some last minute messages. Rubik. Okay, I was thinking about what kind of hero they want to continue here in the first 1-2 punch, the first phase of the draft, and it feels like these days we see some different heroes, and sometimes heroes that are more suited to the team, more comfort picks in this first phase than we did even a couple of weeks ago. Right? You often see heroes like Earthshaker even make it through the first pick phase, even not banned out, even though it's been an extremely popular hero these days. So instead you see heroes like Rubik or perhaps even Bane make their way through. And those are strong heroes in their own rights, but at the same time they're also more specific, more suited to a smaller subset of tasks than a hero like an Earthshaker would be. This game though already have some nice spells to steal from the Lich as well as the Venomancer. If you can get hands on these wards and spam them out, and can play Venomancer for a little bit. You can farm with it, you can just lay siege to a tower and do all of these cool things. I don't believe you get that poison sting from it though, which is a bit unfortunate. But you might, I'm not 100% sure on that. Not really something that you talk about or notice a whole lot. Rubik also a hero that can help fight a little bit early on. I mean, with the Lich and Venomancer, already very stable, very static heroes that don't really want to run around all that much, or at least in a fashion that's surprising, right? Venomancer, if he's running as a core, he just wants to set up in lane, get his levels, get his money. Bring down a tower eventually with just spamming wards, putting on constant pressure. And after that he can start moving to other lanes and do the exact same thing. Whereas for Team Spirit you have a Night Stalker now, the Rubik, who can join in, perhaps with some smokes, in case he is needed to babysit the carry or anyone else in lane. And yeah, alright, more push now from Double Dimension. So they want to do some objective-based gaming. They have the security for the Lich to stabilize the lane. Frost armor, also a hell of a drug sometimes, if you're dealing with right-clickers in particular. Right now, you have the Night Stalker who might have some issues bringing people down that are buffed up by the Frost armor, but at the same time he also has a nice nuke and Void to work with. Similar for Rubik here, his damage comes from the Fate Bolt and these sort of spells he steals, and Brewmaster, I really like this pick now. Especially against the Lycan, right? Lycan, of course, generally considered to be a pushing hero, but he can also teamfight quite effectively. when he gets a couple of items, and perhaps even a Necro Book, there's a lot of damage coming out just due to the nature of the hero. And Brewmaster, one of these great heroes to counteract the Lycan in his ultimate form just by splitting yourself and using a Storm Panda to lift the Lycan up into the air for, I don't know exactly how many seconds, but it's a very long time. And anytime you can waste that Lycan is in his ultimate form, he's not running around, he's not hitting things, he's not getting away either. So it's really good ability to have. It's the same reason why heroes like Disruptor would be really good against it, just between a glimpse and a kinetic field, and even heroes like Puck with the Dream Call. As it stands, Earthshaker making it through to the second pick phase, and not making it past that though. Double Dimension taking that for themselves.
5 seconds remaining.
This hero can also be played a little bit more aggressively here compared to some of the others even early on. Well, Venomancer, if he goes for a more aggressive skill build, like I've seen some Venomancers just go for at least a second point into the Gale, maybe even max that out. But it's mostly 2-2-2 with no point into ultimate early, and then just max out the wards regardless. But even then, that's a lot of damage potential that can come out from a Venomancer. So if the Earthshaker finds a good block, or just provides a little bit of extra control and damage, then you can see a hero like a Night Stalker perhaps even go down, or even Brewmaster early on. And so before it's level 6, he doesn't have this failsafe mechanism, and he is quite tanky. He does have that evasion in the blind or whatever it is from Drunken Haze.
5 seconds remaining.
But if you do catch him in the fissure block, you can still just muscle him down early on. The Puck though, like that too here. As I said before, great against the Lycan with a Dream Coil just to keep him in one area, or else stun him if he runs out of it. Be careful, of course, not to be caught by the Earthshaker initiation, but also considering that that's the only really hard lockdown, and only the ultimate is really instant. This should actually make for a pretty good Puck game so far. And you can dodge a whole lot of stuff. You can kind of keep ahead of the Lycan if he's trying to run you down. So unless Double Dimension now pick up another hero that has some solid single target disable, they might not have a good solution for this Puck ducking and weaving around. You would still have the option to go perhaps for a Legion Commander or something like that for the offlane. Run the Venomancer mid, Lycan safe. And the Earthshaker in the 4 position, so that would be something they could consider. Also with the Terrorblade now picked up for Team Spirits, it's a very heavy carry obviously for the safe lane. Puck mid, Brewmaster offlane. Well, Puck and Brewmaster, you can kind of interchange them. But yeah, I think someone was supposed to cast Hellraisers vs. 2, or at least the Hellraisers vs. Wii on the EU side of things for PGL. I'm not sure if they actually got into the lobby or not. I'm just doing what I'm told here. I would have loved to cast Tuha though, coming in just at the last possible minute, replacing the Wii stack, and but yeah. Unfortunately or fortunately, I have some CIS games to cast instead. Last pick, Double Dimension, is still thinking about it. Again, I feel like they need something like the Legion Commander. It's not the worst matchup against Terrorblade in lane. They have that hard lockdown against the Puck. Other than that, if you really want to commit for the push, you can still go for something like a Beastmaster and have a similar ability, but no, the Ember Spirit, okay. Bit different. That is indeed a bit different. Do they want to go aggressive here? Is the question I have. Can put Lycan in the safe lane, maybe run the Lich there for a couple of minutes, but I don't think you want to leave him alone against the Brewmaster though. Maybe the Venomancer and run the Lycan aggro. Huh. Interesting things. But yeah, the Ember Spirits. think about anti-hero for a moment, because that's what I expected. It is a lot of extra magical damage, and it is that fighting potential, right? Sometimes you go too all in into push strat, can't actually fight the enemy team if they come right at you, so it's a bit of a tough position to get yourself into, where you put everything on one card, but then you just get counted out very simply, or very easily in that sense. But that Emerald Spirit has a lot of magical burst potential, and can synergize nicely with the rest of the control that they have. A lot of mobility, go to bounce around the fight, and I've been talking about the lack of lockdown for the pack, in particular, lack of single target lockdown. But if you look at Team Spirit, all they really have is the Rubik, and there's a bit of crowd control from the coil as well as the silence. It's great against some of these slower heroes like Venomancer and Lich, and as I mentioned before, they also have some tools to keep Lycan at bay, even in his ultimate form. But a hero like an Ember Spirit is gonna be much harder to deal with at that point, at the very least, until when he gets his Manta Star later on.
30 seconds.
Which I assume he definitely needs that up against all these silences. This is his one Achilles heel until he gets some sort of ability to play around that. Either Manta Style or Yield Scepter. I think some people also go for an Ember. Definitely have to have some sort of play against that, because it's not just the pockets, of course also the crippling fear here from the Night Stalker. Even at level 1, that's a 5-second silence at night. It's not really something that you can afford. And well, FNG already in a lot of trouble, runs into 3 people. LeBron not skilled anything yet. It's not really worth skilling the Frost Blast here for the slow. Want to have that sacrifice, and there it is coming out now. No fear, block the creeps in the off lane, I believe, yeah. Drawn down half health, but there's only so much that FNG can do here. This is just something that's going to happen with these heroes on the field. Gonna be a fissure block, and there's gonna be a creep deny early on. There with this 2 heroes in middle lane for the AD, there's also no opportunity for the FNG to actually snipe the Kura if he was thinking about that. Bringing the extra bit of last hit damage here in form of Quelling Blade. What is that fissure? We should have actually helped out Team Spirit. But yeah. Be careful about getting his levels. It's 2v2 mid here. It's actually going to be out quite bad here for Corrido. FNG almost dying to the right clicks. Level 1 Searing Chains. That'll force him all the way back. Iceberg, oh, he should be able to heal up. They did trade a lot of harassment back and forth, and Iceberg, he was the one who had the Self. Undershock didn't opt to go for one. All the region they have is another Tango in 15 seconds, and I guess the Self now coming out on the courier. Just a couple of seconds that he's out of commission, but it's more than enough time for Puck to get a few extra assets to work with. So far this Brewmaster down here is also doing quite well. Again, like, Brewmaster, really good matchup against melee heroes. Lycan is no exception really, just because you have the Drunken Brawler as the first hit against you will miss all the time, so that makes it good for trades, and you have this random chance after that. Not to mention the Drunken Haze, like the slow but the 70% miss chance, so as a melee hero especially you cannot trade effectively against this hero. Just not possible. So gonna have to have some help, but No Fear is not really in a position to do that too, because it's also melee hero. Okay, Undershock gets gone on mid here, gets the Searing Chains off onto FNG. One more right click from him would have done the trick. They don't want to commit here for LeBron. They do. Biver also making the rotation with the Rubik. Lift available, but nice little Frost Blast on 2. TP there from No Fear, and first blood might be an FNG, but the lift preventing. Okay, there it is. Flo also making the rotation. The Nye comes out though from the pack. Flo with the slow. Not gonna get that kill, but instead Biver looks to be the target here. No lift available. They claim the first blood anyway, despite that nice little deny coming out from Iceberg. Good reaction there from Double Damage. Double Dimension. Oh, I'm doing it. Sometimes a couple of my co-casters like DFB and or Neff, they call it double damage or something like that because it rolls off the tongue. It's them they're used to. Oh, they got me doing it. God damn it. But yeah, Double Dimension. Good reactions. What I was gonna say. The instant TP there from No Fear. Again, he can't really do too much down bottom up against his Brewmaster and his Lonesome because he can't trade either against him. Now, I don't know if there's enough damage between these two. There's not.
I deserve this.
So, having that TP helping out against this dive definitely be more useful way to spend this time. And now breaking the smoke is FNG and Viver run into him again. There's another telekinesis available. No Fear still sitting at half health. There's another void. It just hit nighttime as well, so these kind of movements are expected. Night Stalker and Rubik together, working their way all the way up top, and well, Lo, he is actually dead. Didn't quite get the memo that these two were on the prowl, so a little bit too far forward. LTW pops his Metamorphosis, level 3. And they bring it down with an extra bit of slow. No Fear again made the rotation. Okay. Actually do catch the puck out. I did not expect that to happen here. I mean, of course, Steam Chains are a route for 2 seconds, so that's a bit of lockdown as well to prevent some of puck's mobility at least. But that might just be no extension. Okay, top lane, they find the Earthshaker and it just dies so fast. LTW. He cannot sleep in the Sarrow Blade. He does do a crap ton of damage when he has that Metamorphosis. Unable to really do significant damage to the tower with the first usage of that, or first push with that. Grabbing 2 kills in total off of that. Definitely worth it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I'm just gonna try and up FNG level 3 on the Night Stalker, holding on to a point now, putting up into the Crippling Fear. They want to get some revenge. Oh god. Yeah, they want to get some revenge here in this middle lane. They'll only find LeBron there. Bit of slow and not really worth silencing. At least from Night Stalker. So he's holding on to his mana. Iceberg comes in with the extra burst. That'll be the end of that. Undershock taken over once again. Yeah, it's just a 2-man gang squad. Piver and FNG. I might go for Undershock again here. Flame Guard is about to time out. He's being slowed. Iceberg. Didn't quite have his level 6 yet, so he can't actually cancel anything. There's a play there from the Ember, who's also just short of his own level 6. It's just what that's just what 2-man mids do to you. Yeah. Puck now has Dream Coil available, so can either look for some more kills down there, or you can rotate to other lanes like he's doing right now. TP down bottom, Brewmaster ult committed. Projects again, also just short of level 6. He doesn't have that fast runaway. I'm sure it would have mattered, of course, with the Brewmaster being able to keep it in place for a little while longer. So it's just being run down. The support is too slow on their feet. Poor Lich doesn't even have boots. What's his network? Where's his network at? We're on 82. Top lane. Alright, LTW just strikes down a Venomancer. Together with the Night Stalker.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Apparently infused raindrops do count towards net worth. Unless I'm just misreading that. No, it's 450. And some consumables don't, which is why I'm a bit surprised. But I guess it doesn't count as a consumable. So, Brewmaster taking Phobos, first ult usage. Got a kill already with it, so it's a good sign for any sort of Brewmaster player. It's a hero that's heavily momentum based. So if you get slowed down at all, it can be very hard to have an impact in the mid game. But if you don't have an impact in the mid game, oh god, Iceberg going on him. He doesn't even have phase shift leveled. So no way to actually play around that. No mana for the orb.
Let the world end now.
Oh, a bit of a misplay to not have any defensive utility available there, perhaps. At least want to keep your illusory orb available. And just pay the price for it. Or at least the Terrorblade is still farming well. Taking over jungle a little bit, giving some space to FNG. It is daytime, so it's not nearly as effective during the night as it would be at night. So ideally you want to give him some space to get some extra levels, but not really easy to do up against this ward spam coming out from Flow. Gonna have to send a Terrorblade to clear through those. Now, an extra movement here. Undershock and No Fear. Smoked up, coming in. LTW doesn't have a lot of mana to work with extra illusions or metamorphosis, but now the lift as Biver TP's in. They're trying to keep the carry alive, but DD, they really want to get this kill, and they will find it with the Flame God constantly burning away. FNG, next one on list, gets a slow onto Flow instead as he tries to go into the trees, but he will also jump to another punch. Undershock. Well, the Remnants the Cross will be absolutely fine and able to TP back to base, and now there it is, the ultimate from Rajix's. Huck also came in with the call, actually cancelled the TP from Undershock Iceberg, trying to find this kill and should be able to at the same time. Rajix drags down another support. Iceberg run across, but still into 3 different heroes, just doesn't have the right clicking power. Easily finish it off. Now LeBron finally also coming in. The last bounce from the ultimate, getting him another kill. So a lot of heroes rotating up top from Double Dimension. Team Spirit kind of caught off guard by that. And it didn't make the call early enough. If DK Phobos would have come in there maybe with his own ultimate, that's a different story. But there's a bit of a staggered commitment there for DD. Bring in these extra heroes, but they do trade towers 1-for-1 at the very least. LTW, despite that death, he's still ahead in terms of net worth. He's going straight for the Manta style. Makes sense, yeah. Once again, up against the roots, having some more illusions available. Speaking of, okay, now. Speaking of illusions, I was gonna say, yeah, they're also gonna fuel up the Echo Slam though from the Earthshaker, but quite have enough mana for it right now, which is unfortunate because you found himself an Invis rune, but what should you? 150 mana. It's like it's gonna be enough though for the Echo Slam if he pops the Soul Ring.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Trying to look for an opportunity here. Well, then looks to be the next target, and yeah, if Iceberg is not. There it is. Gonna burst him down just like that. Gets the silence off, but not much more. And there should be a death tier 1. Rajix and the Wolves 3 points up into the Feral Impulse. We have an interesting build that he's going for in terms of skills. Sometimes you just don't see it like in Skill Wolves at all. In favor of the Howl and the Feral Impulse, just giving you the extra regen for yourself as well. Then sometimes other Lycans just go for the 1 point up on the Howl and just max the Wolves. Then go for the Zeus Shred with also with like Vlad's and Necrobook. The old school thing, but right now it's actually he actually has a Midas queued up. Not sure how I feel about that this game, right? It's not like they can't fight, especially with the Venomancer being where he's at. He already has his own Midas. On him I don't mind it so much because you have that great synergy with the plus 30% XP gain talent he's getting right now. So you're gonna surge ahead in levels super fast, and that's all you really need is a Venomancer to be effective and do a lot of damage in team fights, right? Just a level 2 ultimate, the max level Gale, if you get that a couple of people, then fight's already over. Unless it's over for you, right? If Team Spirit hasn't won that fight by that point, then they have to retreat. Or they're just gonna all end up dying. Well, they'll get him now. Oh, will they? The ultimate comes through. Now the Frost, or the Chain Frost as well, bouncing between LTW and Solution, bringing him down to half health. Rajix will be able to walk around that fissure. Okay, Undershock actually tanks the Sunder. One more right click will do the trick, but LTW can't get in range. Kirito trying to finish it off, but the Urn will not do the trick through the Flame Guard. Oh no, an absolute disaster. They do trade though in the end. It's Undershock. He came back in. I'm not sure about this one. DKFO was now blinding, coming through from the back, popping his own ultimate. Iceberg throws down another nuke in the silence, gaining him a triple kill. LeBron, last one standing, but not for long. Ultra kill for the puck. He was the one who was able to keep himself alive. The battle of these two mid heroes. Emberspirit came back in there. Maybe he was fleeing actually from DK Phobos, but he was very low on health after that Thunder play and the subsequent right clicks from the Terrorblade. Damn. And they'll put Iceberg right at around the same net worth as Undershock. Up in the air, Piper. Still a Flame Guard. Flame Guard versus Flame Guard, very interesting matchup in that sense. Overall, I want to say, the way this game's going, still in favor of Team Spirit, considering that, oh no, what is this? Iceberg, alright, I got the jaunt away. Opted for the Veil first, so very cost-effective item. Bottom lane, oh, no fear. I think he's fearing death right now. TP in from Emerson, but I get rid of the creep. The Echo Slam, as a result, wasted. Biver not able to steal it. He just got the fusion instead. Much more useful, like, by all accounts. Now, well, they really don't want to let this go. The Chain Frost bouncing back there to FNG, but it's only setting up for Iceberg. Once again, he will die, but at what cost? Undershock caught with the card as well. One more right click will do it. He snaps it, but with the Remnant, we'll be able to survive. So, damn. Unable to get that last stick of damage in. Undershock can count as blessings here, but they might have to give up this tower. There's another Metamorphosis available for ILTW, so if they want to commit this one, then they should be able to burst down this tier 2 or take another Fire Flow. Make an appearance here, scattered out by the orb as well as the creep snare coming in. No fear, doesn't have Echo Slam. Still a fissure on Rubik. They don't have the Brewmaster ultimate. That might have just ticked in. This came off cooldown. It is nighttime for another 20 seconds. They want to take a fight, and it is now for Team Spirit. Being sad though, FNG is somewhere else entirely. I think he's going to try and prevent Undershock if he TPs down bottom to try and help. So he's going to keep an eye on him. While LTW is just doing the long range siege with the Dragon Lance. They're forced out. It is daytime now. We should be able to finish this off eventually. That is. They were ready to take a fight. Double Dimension knew it too. They opted, alright, let's just not go for this without Echo Slam. Not Blink Dagger, no fear anyway, right? Still 1200 gold away from that. Meanwhile, Mechanism picked up on a Venomancer. That's an item that you don't see every day. Normally Venomouncers just go super greedy, but it's a very flexible hero in terms of item builds. Once again, it's just a factor of, or result of his ability to do a whole lot with his spells alone. You can build these utility items on him to help out your team and Mechanism. Oh, we'll be able to aid them in fights quite heavily. We just managed to outlast Team Spirit. There's not a whole lot of sustain on them. All they've really got is the urn from FNG. I guess the Blats on Brewmaster. The counter ceiling, not really. His own Blink Deck queued up. Has enough money for it too. Pack has his own, of course, already. Iceberg has already shown us what he can do with that. Coming to gank, they say. There's no one to gank here, and in fact the Wolves might scout them out, and maybe they saw it. They're definitely gonna see Biver now. Eventually though, Nightstalker will be able to pick up a gem. Right now he's going for Medallion, by the look of it. Only has the chainmail available, so again, super cost effective item for our support here to pick up. It also allowed him to take Roche very easily. Meantime, just poking and prodding. Wait for the next big core items on the course. Terror Blade, close to Manta style. Fuck, what's he looking at? The Yule Scepter? Yeah, makes sense. Now the smoked up. Brewmaster picked up that blinks. Just interesting timing here. It's not quite nighttime, but FNG does have his ultimate available. They are actually able to fight quite nicely, especially if they find Flow isolated from the rest of the team here. Small little area. Frost bounces through with yeah. It's a great bait and switch. ILTW just bringing down the tower, pretending that he's not alone. In fact, the rest of the team just going somewhere else. FNG flies across, sees LeBron. TP out, but DK forwards, not enough damage. Bring him down. Got the tower. Will they go for Roche now? Maybe, maybe not. Don't quite have the medallion. Also don't choose to rush this any further. If they go, hey, at this point, Earthshaker should probably have his Blink Dagger. And the Blink Echo Slam is still a great way to lose a fight. Even with the Venomancer down. That is buyback she still wants. Double Dimension. Now they're the ones on the hunt. Slightly behind. In terms of gold experience, not so much. Slightly ahead, but doesn't really mean all that much. What's necessary is to get some kills under the belt to establish some map control. PK Phobos would be a really good one. The world keeping track of him, but oh, Brewmaster wary of this being a possibility. Well, there it is. This, never mind. Spoke too soon. Gonna burst him down as he walks forward again, but now, well, Team Spirit kind of all over the place. Unable to really mount a response to this, so Double Dimension will get away with murder there, quite literally. Playing kind of being pressured in my creeps, but I've making his way as well, so he'll be able to spam some wards. And together with Iceberg, they are looking to try and burst down this tower really quickly, but Double Dimension now responding to this. Iceberg still got caught by the Venomous Scale. And well, he's Iceberg though, he's a pack again. Their limited ability to bring him down, or to lock him down, I should say. Get the tower denied, at the very least it's some sort of map control, but at the same time not really. Ever since the introduction of the shrines, these offlane towers mean very little indeed, even less than they used to. Nighttime still for quite a while. Birds. We just try to go for a pick off into Roche. Oh god, Iceberg coming in, finds the call, but Earthshaker blinks away. No fear, able to keep himself free, but ILTW comes in. He is very angry, and LeBron gets destroyed. The Chain Frost bouncing, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's no extra follow-up means that they don't really care, don't really mind.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's the one pick off. Now, out looking for a second one, but like in without the coil. Iceberg cannot keep a hold of him. But they're doing what I expected, just go straight for Roche. Medallion, you have the Vlads, you have a Terror Blade with Metamorphosis. Provide damage, so it should go down fairly quickly, but Double Dimension will have a chance to contest this. No Chain Frost. No Echo Slam, probably the more important one. It's down for another 20 seconds. But they're still coming in here. They feel like they need to stop this, but DK Phobos comes in, doesn't get his ultimate off just yet. Is rooted, is stunned. He will go down. Iceberg trying to take over. Flo very low on health points, but well, at the very least, to secure the Aegis. But at what cost? Boomer's already died. They don't track down the Earthshaker, FNG. Desperately trying to keep himself alive, and the jukes and jives are real. Tragics cannot get the last wipe in. So FNG will barely survive, just with the vision plays here up and down and whatnot. What a player. Team Spirit, well, I just pulled out no Brewmaster going in gung-ho, being chain locked down, unable to get his ultimate off, but they still win the fight. They still have the Aegis under the belt. That's all they're really looking for. Once that Metamorphosis comes off cooldown, once Brewmaster's back in the fray, they'll be able to very easily siege down tier 2s as well as high ground. I don't see what's stopping them at this point. You have Yules, you have your ultimate. Could slow it down and wait for something like a BKB on your course. Terrorblade will probably want to pick one up this game eventually, but right now, as I say that, you just got his Diffuser Blade delivered, has his Scally queued up, so he just wants to go tanky. Regardless, doesn't really care too much about the Venomancer or the Earthshaker jumping on him, just trust in his team. And his team's ability to keep him alive long enough so he can get the Sunder off after something like that, and Rajix, well, he's just dead. Coil made it impossible for him to run away, even if he was in ultimate form already. IL2W, this Terrorblade is way too strong at this phase in the game. It's only 24 minutes in, and Team Spirit, they're hitting this timing that I was talking about when I was talking about the Brewmaster earlier. Now they can catch No Fear! Oh no, they needed him for the Echo Slam if they wanted to have any sort of chance of defending this. As it stands, he's down for the count. 35 seconds, no buyback. Undershock. Well, he's in the middle of that, but if he shows himself, he's just gonna straight up die. There's a Chain Thrust coming through. IL2W just pounding away at the racks. And it's an immune soon, so it'll last for quite a while. Undershock just thinking, alright, can I do something here? There's no more illusions, no more metamorphosis. So maybe now's the time, on the retreat. Retreating as a unit though, still sticking around. The Fissure actually blocks up the Lich. Undershock still not showing himself. There it is, finally with the root. It's only the Aegis Zone, IL2W, unless he sunders somebody. He tried, I believe. Didn't quite get it. So far, so good. They didn't lose any heroes just yet. The Fissures from both sides. There it is, the Echo Slam. F&G dropping low, and he should end up dying to the poison unless he gets the TP out right to hell now. And that should be enough with the heals. You know, Venomancer himself, he dies as DKFO was still fighting in front. No ultimate for another 50 seconds. LeBron might just die though to just the general AoE as he's diving into the trees, but also running away from Rajix. Coming back in with another one of his ultimates. Brewmaster, well, you're tanky, but not that tanky. He will be tracked down eventually. There it is. Iceberg finished up the Lich in the meantime. I was stuck inside the trees, but now, well, they got what they came for. They lost Aegis, but they got the melee racks. They got a tier 3 tower, and they might get Rajix here again. No corals, so just gonna have to rely on their nukes. Spyver doesn't have a lot of mana to work with. Needs to blink away, but it's actually gonna get right clicked by the wolves. Iceberg comes across. You'll have to cancel the TP. It's taking forever, but they should be able to get this kill. Spyver coming back in. Iceberg with a blink out. Another right. The mechanism for guarding graves there from No Fear. Next with a burst heal. Now Iceberg is in a lot of trouble. Can he blink out? He can, but No Fear is expecting him. Another orb. He'll jaunt to it. Fissure will be dodged. There's the shrine. Yeah. But hey, all of this is space created. While all of this was happening, F&G and Terrorblade, they were pushing down bottom. They brought the Screep Wave all the way to tier 3 tower. The illusions are working away at it. A lot of creeps to work with, but Double Dimension now ready to respond. This tower will not fall just yet, unless they just want to go right in. Iceberg is on the way back. They give up his ultimate Undershark. For himself, I don't think you want to fight the Terrorblade. Slow down, and now, well, he has for him to help, but he's silenced! He's just dead! 60 seconds without a buyback, and well, this fight just got a lot harder. The call onto Rajix, just so much burst. Almost impossible to deal with here, and well, DD agree. They call it. Good game indeed, Team Spirit. Grab game number 1 with good drafts, good plays, very aggressive, and just banking on the Terrorblade factor. Just hitting this timing where he got not shot down at all. He got all the farm in the world. The rest of his team working quite well around him. Iceberg and DKFOs as well, being the big team fighters. F&G and Rubik, the enablers. On the so yeah, can't really identify too many weaknesses there. Perhaps 1 or 2 overextensions here or there from Team Spirit, but that got punished, but that ultimately wasn't enough. Double Dimension, he just couldn't get close to ILTW. I mean, this Echo Slam wasn't really on point. Spirit did a really good job just keeping No Fear away in particular. And even then, like, where's the damage coming from? Undershock didn't really get to that point. You'd get the melt from sure, but that's not gonna be enough against all of that. Flow and the Venomancer also felt underwhelming this game. Unable to really make good use of that ultimate because he couldn't really get in. If he walked up, he would be silenced and bursted down immediately. So you can't really get too close to the Terror Blade either. Alright, that was game number 1 though. There's another game coming up now because this is a best of 3 series. If Team Spirit wins that one, they are through and they will face up against Vega in our next series of the day. That also means that Double Dimension would actually lose, and they would be dropping out of the PGL CIS qualifiers. Gonna take a short break. I'll be back with game number 2 in a couple of minutes, so don't go too far away.